so that we can get this on record. We're going to play two we're on Little Crow Dance. We're looking at basically the first stanza of Little Crow Dance, and we're talking about the fact that there are two quarter notes that are on the same tone. They're actually the same note, so how do we do that? And we talked about doing that with a really soft tongue in between those two quarter notes that are on the same note. I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. I put a little picture of my sister and myself with our mother. So today is our mother's birthday. Our mother would have been 101 years old today. And one of the things that she always said was 321-21, 321-21. And I was going to look it up on the internet, but when my mother was born, she was born on the first day of spring. And of course, you know, they redo things as they go along. And so now the first day of spring is not on 321. So, but my mother was born on the first day of spring in 1921. Okay, so we're going to go down here. Let me see if I can do that. I'm going to move you guys up to the top so that I have access. Okay. Oh, why? Oh, here it is. Okay. So Little Crow Dance. Little Crow Dance. So you see the soft tongues are put in there for you, and you'll have this on the thing. So you play Little Crow Dance like this, and I'm going to set the view up differently so that let's see. I'm going to move you guys back down here. I'm going to set the view up to be speaker view. Talking, speaker view. Okay, I think this is the one I want here. This is speaker view. I don't know why Deb's on there and not me, but I don't. Okay, I guess I'll have to leave it like this. I don't want to do that, but I guess I'll have to leave it like this. So, Little Crow Dance. Okay, that's Little Crow Dance, and that's how you will play it with just a soft tongue in between those notes. Stop the share. So that's Little Crow Dance, and we will be playing Little Crow Dance for a while because we are going to use different embellishments instead of the soft tonguing. We're going to try different embellishments. So we'll be sticking with Little Crow Dance for a while. The next one is Aspen Leaves, and this is just a lovely song that Scott did. So many of his are beautiful. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk to you about in Little Crow Dance. You'll see that I did not hold the whole notes for 4 counts, but I came in on count 1. So I may have only held them for 2 notes, but I came in on count 1 for the next stanza. Another thing is that in the 3rd line down, the 1, 2, 3, the third measure over on the 3rd line down, you do this jump from so you have to be able to lift those fingers at the same time. If you don't, it sounds, it's not crisp and clear. And so that may be something that you need to work on this week, is just doing that jump. See, I didn't come down quite right on that. So you can just take that one thing and just work on that jump, because that's quite a jump. You're lifting off what, 3 fingers? No, you're lifting off 4. So you're lifting off 4 fingers. So that takes a lot of coordination to do that. And also you have to, as you go from a lower note to a higher note, you have to increase your breath support for it a little bit, to be able to hit that higher note. So that's one thing. Again, you have these nice slur notes, so you're basically slurring everything. There are no 2 notes that are adjacent to one another, 2 like notes adjacent, so you don't have to do that soft tonguing. So this is all slurred. So you can play it slow, and I recommend that you play it very, very slow when you start up, and then you can pick up the tempo. But you don't want to practice it and be practicing mistakes. You want to practice it and have it be correct. And so you just want to take it slow. So you might want to take it 1 stanza at a time and practice it that way with just 1 stanza. Make sure that you've got that right, and then go on to the next stanza. Then add the 2 together. But practice it so that you're practicing it correctly. You're not practicing mistakes, because when you practice mistakes, you're making the wrong neural pathways, and we don't want the wrong neural pathways. So I said today that we would start on Little Crow Dance, which we're going to do, and that's going to be a lot of fun over the next few weeks as we do that. But I said we were also going to talk about how to play your flute meditatively. So Ann and I both practice transcendental meditation. Do any of the rest of you practice a form of meditation of any kind? Okay, Sandy, what do you practice? Let's see if I can unmute you.
Sorry, I couldn't get that to unmute. I've had so much input meditation before. I just did the class, Colleen's class on the primordial meditation, which I love.
Okay,
All
primordial sound meditation is what you do?
right.
Okay. So one thing that's kind of common in all meditations is that we're going to slow down our breathing. We're going to slow down our breathing. We're going to try to empty our minds. Keep our minds as empty as possible. So we want to do something with our flute that is not, that we don't really have to think about it. So a lot of people try to improvise, as they're doing these meditative sounds. They're trying to improvise. But I'm going to suggest that if you've played a song over and over and over and over and over again and practiced it, that you pretty much know that song. So I'm going to suggest that you pick out a song that we've played, and I'm going to suggest that we look at spirit wind, and we play that meditatively. Now, I'm going to play it, I'm going to play a little bit of it meditatively. I'm going to keep my eyes closed. I'm going to look at the music first so I know what I'm playing. And I might not remember exactly how it goes. And I'm going to let as I go along, it will probably slow down even more. So timing is not important. We're going to let the time go. But we're just going to play long tones and just let the time go. So, do you kind of see what I'm doing there by playing it very slow, letting the time slip away, but I know the notes. I know how the song is supposed to go. So some of these really short ones that we've done, I don't necessarily, I like more of the 4/4 time. I don't necessarily like the 3/4 time. But any of these short ones that we've done that you really, really know well would be good to do meditatively. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to mute myself, and we're all going to play Spirit Wind meditatively. So I want you to relax. I want you to watch your breathing. Be sure to breathe. You can stop and breathe. Take time to breathe when you need to breathe. I mean, really take time. You don't have to come right back in. There's no time where you have to come right back in because you're not keeping track of time. And I would ask you to close your eyes. I mean, look at the music to see where you're going to go. But once you start, just close your eyes. And if you don't go where the music goes, that's fine. But I don't want you thinking really about what you're doing. This is kind of an emptying of our minds and a calming of our soul and a calming of our breathing, a calming of our spirit. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. So I can see that you all kind of enjoyed that, and I can see that your spirits and you're very very settled, and that is the point of that, of being able to play meditatively. And you can also, you can call it a different name if you don't want to call it meditative playing. You could call it prayerful playing. This could be your prayer time as you're praying through your flute, or you're meditating through your flute. Any comments about that? Anybody want to share their experience trying that?
I find I have to slow myself down more.
Deb, you're a really really on the go person.
Yeah.
Very on the go person, and so yes, you would really really have to slow yourself down. Sandy, we can see Sandy is still enjoying this. She is still there. She is still there. And tell us about your experience.
Well, I kind of feel like Deb did in that I slowed it down a lot, and I found myself really getting into the tone, and it was just a different vibration kind of thing.
Yeah, a different vibration. I like that. Mary, how about you?
Correlated and worked along with what I do every night, which is go to sleep to one music piece is called Breathe. Another is Celtic music with a flute and harp. I forget the name of the other, but every night that's how I go to sleep. So I can see how this will go together with that.
Yeah. So if you need during the day to just relax, and those of us, Deb, like you and me, that are constantly just like this all the time, that never quit, that our to-do list just goes on and on and on, and we're in constant motion. This is really good for us. This is really, really, really good for us. So I would encourage you to also use your flute meditatively or prayerfully this week as you practice these songs. Another thing is that it was about, I don't know, it was about at this point when I was taking lessons from Scott August that I noticed that the sound coming out of my flute was different. It was fuller. It was more robust. It had a better sound. That I was better able to control that. And so you should be beginning. And I had played the flute for like 3 years before I started taking lessons from Scott. But I noticed a huge, huge difference. And you should begin to be able to see that, that your sound is changing, that it's becoming better. Even on a less expensive flute, it's getting better. It's getting better. Any comments from anybody before we sign off?
Just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing